What if I told you that the key to better energy, better sleep, maybe even better health overall, wasn't in a special diet or a new pill, but was actually hiding in the shape of your mouth? I know it sounds a little wild, but let's dive into this because this idea could totally change how you think about your body. So does this feel familiar at all? You think you got a full 8 hours, but you still wake up feeling just drained? Or maybe you'll get those weird, nagging headaches right in the morning. You just kind of move through your day in a bit of a fog. It is so frustrating, and believe me, you are not the only one feeling this way. And I bet some of these on this list are going to hit home for you. You know, loud snoring, waking up suddenly gasping for air, feeling tired all day long, that annoying brain fog, and even things like anxiety or depression. These aren't just a bunch of random, separate problems. A lot of the time, they are actually clues pointing to one single underlying issue that millions of us have and don't even know it. So, what is this big mystery? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. We tend to think of these as, sleep problems or energy problems, but the real root cause? It's physical. It's an anatomical problem, which just means it has to do with the actual structure of your body. And this is the absolute key right here. The problem isn't that you're just a bad sleeper. The problem is that the physical shape of your mouth and your jaw is literally getting in the way of the most important thing your body needs to do at night, which is just breathe. This brings us to a really fascinating field called Airway Orthodontics. And it's a completely new way of thinking about dentistry. Instead of just zeroing in on straightening teeth, it looks at the much bigger picture, making sure the actual shape of your mouth and jaw creates a wide open airway so you can easily get all the oxygen you need all night long. Okay, to make this super simple, let's use an analogy. I want you to think of your airway. That's the path that air takes to get to your lungs. I want you to picture it like the main hallway in your house. For you to walk through it easily, that hallway needs to be nice and wide and clear, right? So here's where the problem starts for so many of us. For a lot of people, their jaws just didn't grow as big as they were genetically programmed to, often because of the soft foods we eat in our modern diets. And what that means is that the hallway, your airway, ends up being too narrow. There just isn't enough space. And then this is exactly what happens when you go to sleep. Your muscles relax, and that includes your tongue. Well, if your jaw's too small to begin with, your tongue doesn't have a proper home, so it falls back and basically blocks that narrow hallway. This blockage is what causes snoring, the gasping, and all those other symptoms we just talked about. Okay, so if the problem is the actual structure of our bones, you're probably thinking, that's great, but I'm an adult. My bones are set. What am I supposed to do about it now? Well, this is where things get really exciting, because we're about to bust a huge myth. So, are you really stuck with the jaw you have right now? Is surgery the only way to make a real physical change to your bone structure? For a long, long time, that's what we all believed. But it turns out that's not the whole story, not even close. Yeah, that idea that adult bones are just fixed in place and can only be changed with a surgeon's scalpel, it's simply not true. Your body actually has this incredible, natural ability to remodel and grow, as long as it gets the right signals. And this is done using something called biomimetic science. Now, it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually super simple. Bio means life, and mimetic means to copy. So this approach literally copies nature. You wear special oral appliances, kind of like mouth guards, while you sleep, and they apply this really gentle pressure. That pressure acts as a signal, telling your body, hey, let's restart that jaw growth that got paused back in childhood. It's not forcing anything. It's just working with your body's natural blueprint. All right, so we've got a structural problem, and we've got a natural way to fix it without surgery. So now, let's look at how this creates a permanent solution by actually fixing the root cause instead of just slapping a Band-Aid on the symptoms. Let's go back to our hallway analogy. Traditional dentistry, it often focuses on just making the hallway look nice, straightening the pictures on the walls, which are your teeth. A CPAP machine? That's kind of like putting a giant high-powered fan at one end of that narrow hallway to blast air through. It definitely helps, but it doesn't do anything to fix the narrow hallway itself. Airway Orthodontics, on the other hand, is like a renovation crew that comes in and physically moves the walls, widening that hallway for good. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. A CPAP machine is an incredible tool, and it absolutely saves lives, but it's really a crutch. It only manages the symptoms, and only on the nights you use it. A biomimetic appliance, however, is designed to be a permanent fix.
It corrects the root cause by physically opening up the airway, so you might not need a machine for the rest of your life.
And because this is a real fix, like that renovation for your jaw, it has an end date. The treatment usually takes somewhere between 18 to 24 months. After that, the change is permanent. The job is done. Your body has literally built itself a wider, healthier airway. But really, this is about so much more than just stopping snoring or not feeling so tired. The stakes here are much, much bigger than that. We're talking about your overall health, your whole body's health for the rest of your life. I mean, look at this. When your body is starved for oxygen night after night after night, it puts it under an enormous amount of stress. And not getting enough oxygen is directly linked to some of our most serious modern health problems, like high blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even stroke. It's like a dangerous line of dominoes that all starts with that one narrow airway.
Think about it for a second. Every single organ, every cell in your body needs oxygen to function and to heal. When it doesn't get enough, your entire system is under constant chronic stress. This doesn't just damage your heart, it also impacts your brain, which is exactly why we see this strong link to brain fog, anxiety, and depression.
And that really brings us to the whole point of all of this. The goal here isn't just about getting a straight smile or even a quiet night's sleep. The real goal, the big prize, is systemic health, better health for your entire body. It's about restoring the full flow of oxygen that every single part of you needs to thrive. So I'll leave you with this one big question to think about. After everything we've talked about, from a small jaw to brain fog all the way to heart problems, could it be that the real key to your overall health has been hiding right there in the structure of your smile this whole time? It's a pretty powerful idea,